Hey there, Luke Mills here, Cool Hand Luke, coming at you with a live roleplay of my service call. For time purposes, I'm going to skip past rapport and sharpening, as you can find those resources somewhere else. However, there are 3 questions that I typically always ask during rapport building. The first question is, so, Miss Jones, how often is food prepared in the house? This gives us a great idea as to how often they're cooking. Sometimes it's just that season of life that they're referring to, but at least it gives us some insight into the frequency of it. The second question, Ms. Jones, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you actually enjoy cooking? Now we have a good idea of their level of cooking on a scale of 1 to 10, somewhere between a little, a lot, in the middle, somewhere. But now we actually are able to understand how frequently they're cooking and their enjoyment level, and this is really going to give us the information that we need to help them feel like the upgrade option is meant specifically for them. If they cook a lot and they love cooking and they have some extra money, then selling an ultimate upgrade is incredibly easy. It's almost like a cakewalk. Like, we want to see more of those customers. Absolutely. The people that cook a lot but don't like cooking, or people who don't cook very often but love cooking, we need to make them feel understood too. And then the last one here is people who don't cook often and dislike cooking. How can you make an ultimate upgrade person who has CUTCO, feel like the upgrade is meant for them? And that's what the knowledge of that information is going to allow us to be able to frame the upgrade as if designed specifically for that type of person, regardless of what they're at. Also, coming in at question number 3, Ms. Jones, how often is your spouse involved in the food preparation? This is a really important question because a lot of times I'm doing appointments during the weekday midday, and I don't get to see a whole lot of husbands and wives together. And we want to avoid that option of having to let that objection get between us and that sale. So this is a really great question to bring that kind of to the forefront of the conversation and handle it from the very beginning. Let's just assume that they're somewhat involved and that I need to handle that objection. So my objection handler for this is fairly simple. Hey, Ms. Jones, I totally understand that this is probably going to be a lot easier if they were here today, and I just want to let you know that that's okay. At this point, I am proud to say that I have over 4,000 customers, and there have been 0 murders or divorces from people adding onto the CUTCO collection while I've been over at the house. Isn't that great? That's good news, huh? Well, I just want to remind you that you've shared with me that you've already been incredibly happy with the investment that you've made in CUTCO. So just remember what it was like before you came into the CUTCO family and how excited you were. And maybe even if your hubby wasn't as excited, think about how happy they are about that decision now too. And I have to tell you, it's the same exact scenario where there are some things that I'm going to show you today that you're going to probably like. Now, I don't want you to get something you're not going to use. But if there's something that you see that's going to add a lot of value to your family, that you're going to use often, that you're going to have for an incredibly long time, and something that's not going to break the bank, then I just want to let you know that it's okay to add that onto the collection today. And one of the cool things that CUTCO does to be able to help respect that boundary that you guys have is that they allow you to think about your decision together. I mean, honestly, the best way to think about it is while you're using it anyway. As you can imagine, it's a little bit hard interrupting their busy day to call them up to add on to the collection of something that they're not here to see when they don't even do most of the cooking anyway. So we just let you put down a little small deposit on whatever it is that you like, and then you get a whole month to make sure that they are absolutely as excited as you are, which 10 years has shown me that everyone is. And CUTCO just makes it incredibly easy. If you guys want to upgrade from that option, if you guys think about it, decide to upgrade, downgrade, exchange, or return, incredibly simple, easy process. And again, just with a small deposit, just makes it incredibly easy to handle. So, yeah, and then, okay, so that's it. It's pretty easy. I'll usually finish with asking, so does that sound fair? And just getting an audible response from them, a confirmation, usually is able to deter that from being a larger objection later on. Again, if someone tells you that they need to talk to their spouse, they're not saying they don't like CUTCO, they don't like you. A lot of times you just need to dig a little bit deeper, as that is usually just a smokescreen objection, and you really need to find out the real objection, or just drop down to something that they are comfortable spending today, and getting a little bit into their house, a little bit extra onto their collection, so that you can share with them that same experience that every time they add CUTCO, that they love that, and get them addicted to adding on because they know that every time they do, it's a great decision. And that's what we want. We want them to be multiple time purchasers for decades and decades, and share that experience with their friends and family. Cool. Just jumping right into like one thing that I like to do, I try and not talk too much about the knives, because if I have found that overcomplicating things or talking about every single knife individually, just these people's brains, they just can't handle it. And so what I just tell them is like, hey, I'm just going to help like simplify this down to 3 rules for your collection, and if you do these 3 things, they're going to keep your knife so much longer. The first one is the paring knife, and I hold up the paring knife. Yeah, just remember the rhyme, and I tell them pair in the air and why that's important. If they have a boning knife, of course, only on raw meats, and I also educate them on the veggie knife and how it is only strictly used for veggies, because the knives aren't being sharpened every single day, and so on. So you can just educate that and the way that you know how to do, and that's going to shorten it down to 3 main rules. And anyone can remember 3 rules rather than being overwhelmed with all of this information of how to care and use their knives and what they are and aren't using correctly before you even get to an upgrade. And trust me when I say you don't want to overcomplicate things. Keep everything very simple, calm, cool, collected, and that way customers are ready to receive the idea of the upgrade, the concept of it, rather than being overwhelmed with just merely the fact that they're using every single knife incorrectly from their set. At some point during rapport, someone is going to ask, the customer is typically going to ask you, so how long have you been doing this for? And some type of question like that typically always comes, and this is a great opportunity to take the conversation off of them and onto you. At this point, this is key, I will stop sharpening. There is no more finish sharpening, sharpening first, sell second. This is just one fluid appointment. So at some type of lull in the appointment, or while they're making a decision, or if they have to step away for a phone call, or something happens, I'm just going to pick up sharpening. But the thing is that sometimes I'll even finish up the sale and then finish sharpening before I leave. And what this does is this allows the appointment to flow naturally versus sharpening an ultimate and having 45 minutes of conversation when they're already like bored out of their mind or overwhelmed or whatever the case is, and now you want to sell and they have to leave in 10 minutes. Like, that's not setting yourself up for success. Or thinking that you have to have 15 minutes of rapport when they only have 1 or 2 knives and that are still relatively sharp, and you just pretend sharpening them the entire time while talking to them, feeling like you need to bridge that gap. This allows the conversation and the selling to happen right where the time is correct. So the customer will ask you, say, how long have you been doing this for? And I'm going to go right into my scripts pretty much from beginning to end without stopping at this point. I'm going to try not to have too much commentary. I'm not very good at that. I like to explain what I do and why I do it, but take some really good notes. And you can replay this if you like to hear any of the verbiage again. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I've been doing this for almost 10 years now. I've got about 4,000 customers, and it's been quite an amazing ride and experience. And CUTCO is an awesome company. I'm a total CUTCO nerd, by the way. I met my wife while studying CUTCO in college, and now we've got 3 little CUTCO nerds who just run around the house. As you can imagine, life is just chaotic at every moment. And my wife actually made this cool little sheet here to share with you a little bit of the family so you can kind of see. She doesn't do CUTCO anymore, by the way. She did for about 6 years, and trust me, she's even better than I ever have been. But she just felt really called to be at home with the kids as a mom, and that just meant that a couple years ago I had to really step up and sell a lot more knives. And my customers really stepped up in a really big way, and they've been grateful for that, and I've been grateful to be able to offer such an amazing product and work for such an amazing company. So this is Madison, this is Nathan, and that's Dominic, and Madison's 4, Dominic's 3, and Nathan is 1. And I have to tell you, it's just so cool to be able to be at this point in life. So it's really awesome. And I have to say that this year it's been really crazy because I'm pursuing something that I've never really pursued before. Oftentimes I've been looking for a promotion or an award or a trip or something like that. And this year the whole goal is actually really not focused on awards or accolades. It's really been very family focused. And the whole goal this year is if I could sell $300,000 of CUTCO in a third of the time that I've ever sold it before, just so that I can make sure that I am able to be present in my kids' lives now while they're young. You told me that you had kids, or that you have kids as well, and the number one thing all my customers always tell me is that before you know it, they're 14 and they're in high school, and they really regret not being able to take advantage of that time. So that's what this year and next year are all about. And I have to tell you, it scares the crap out of me to do more than I've ever done before in literally a third of the time. It is really mind-blowing. But I have to tell you, I've been working my butt off every single day to make this happen, to be present in my business, to be present to my customers, and to be present to my family. And there's nothing that's going to stop me from hitting this. And when this year is over, I know that I can look back at 2017 knowing that I did my best playing the role of father and as husband and as business owner. And that means a lot to me. And what that means to you is that you're dealing with someone who is incredibly committed to providing a top-in-class experience for you, going over the top for whatever your CUTCO needs might be. That also means I'm willing to go the extra mile to earn your business today, and that I'm always only going to be supporting you in the things that you need, because I want to be your CUTCO guy, not only now, but for years to come. Is that cool or what? Man, I get fired up every time I talk about that, and yeah, just coming into the end of the year here, and I know that we can make this happen. I'm only about 100 grand away from my goal, so we could just make this really easy. If you could just go ahead and write me a check for 100 grand, and my wife would be super happy. No, not going to do that? Okay, I understand. I'll let her know that we just did a smaller deposit of just 10 grand, and we just finished out the CUTCO kitchen today. All right, I'm just joking, of course, but since I am going to be so forward-focused on CUTCO for you, just to educate you on what that process is going to look like, since a lot of people don't know, this is what we call the CUTCO kitchen. And this is the goal for all of our customers. We already know that you love some of the knives, and that's fantastic. There's a lot of things that you don't even know that CUTCO has that are going to add more value to your life than a lot of CUTCO has already done for you. And unfortunately, there's a lot of other items in the kitchen that just suck. Just as a common thing here, like, have you ever had cookware that has warped or scratched or faded or just worn out before? Of course you have. Everyone has. Well, imagine having CUTCO quality cookware, alleviating the need to ever be frustrated with your cookware pretty much ever again, and never having to buy that ever again as well. So firstly, what I mainly focused on today is just going to be your knife upgrade, so you can see what that looks like. It's a pretty quick process, and as a common courtesy, I always show at least what the upgrade looks like at the end. After you finish out your upgrade, that opens up discount options available for our flatware, which is our #1 big ticket item that is on sale right now. And then the newest package is the complete accessory program. And there's more than just what's in the picture here, but imagine just consolidating just drawers and drawers and drawers full of junk, and just limiting that down to just one good set that's American made, guaranteed forever, works every time, makes you happy when you use it, and you never have to buy another third, fourth, fifth ice cream scoop ever again or anything like that. And some people know that they love CUTCO, and they know that they're going to eventually get this stuff anyway, and but not everyone always has 10 grand just waiting around the house for the CUTCO guy to come over. So that's why I focus mostly on the upgrade today. But to be honest with you, because I am so focused on my goal for the year, if regardless of whether you're a CUTCO kitchen customer and we just finished out the CUTCO collection today, or we just pick up one or two of the packages, either way, I'm really committed to help serving you for the long term. So the way that the upgrade works is that when you first saw CUTCO, this is the set that you have, or something small, whatever. And this is what almost nearly everyone that buys from a college kid gets. And it's a great set. Don't get me wrong; it has a lot of the fundamentals. But the reality is that most people aren't using the majority of that set every day. Yeah, having good knives is so much better than having not great knives, considering that we do cook every day. But when we look at your set, the truth is that most bread comes pre-sliced. Do you make your own bread? No, not a whole lot of people do. We're only carving turkey a couple times a year, and look at this big guy. I'm assuming you're not chopping heads off a chicken or butchering your own cattle or sheep, are you? Yeah, no. So really, it's just a couple of these smaller pieces that get used often. When it comes to the chef knife, some people just absolutely love it. For most people, it's just a little bit too large for their comfort. And so what has happened, and the reason why the upgrade exists, is because customers have had the same situations as you, and they love their CUTCO, but they just need some of the gaps filled into their collection. So they wrote letters into the factory requesting these pieces, and we've been able to put those into a package that finishes out your CUTCO collection. So the way that this works is, if we do this, I actually buy back your block from you. And this isn't like, there's a couple different options with CUTCO, but that's just something that I do, and I put that credit towards the upgrade, since most people aren't going to use that block anymore in the future. Then what we do is we get the 8 customer requested pieces and 4 more of the table knives, because you know how 8 is never enough. And now all the stuff you have and all the new stuff fits into the new block, and then you're done with knives forever. Unless, of course, we come out with something crazy in the future that you just have to have. So, like I said, there's lots of different pieces that you have, but to show you why so many of my customers, nearly all of them, opt for the upgrade, to just show you what comes in there. The first thing is the paring knife. And your paring knife is awesome. It's a wonderful piece, but a lot of times it's just too short and goes dull really quickly on the cutting board. So here, feel this guy. This is the 4-inch paring knife, and it's that perfect length for for snacks, apples, strawberries. It can be used on the cutting board. As the kids grow older, it's one of the knives that you can actually trust, like teaching them knife skills, and a really great introductory knife into high quality knives and how to be safe around knives. So it's the perfect family tool that's going to be used every single day. The next tool that comes in your upgrade is actually going to be the mini chopper. And your big chopping knife, I noticed that it seemed like you don't really use that one a whole lot unless it's like really big stuff, and it's not even really meant for those anyway. But here, feel the Cute Light version. Doesn't that just feel so much better? Just makes it so much more practical for everyday small jobs. Garlic, nuts, herbs, spices. Just getting quick and easy out of the kitchen. Plus, it gives you an extra piece so that if 2 people in the kitchen are cooking or one of the knives is dirty, you have another piece to go to. Again, another everyday great piece. Now this one is a customer favorite, and this is one of the reasons why the upgrade is so popular. And one of the things I did for you was we sharpened up your trimmer knife here, and I want you to go ahead and take this potato here, and this is freshly sharpened. Like, I just did it. I did an awesome job on it. And go ahead and give me 2 potato chip slices off of that. Not bad, huh? Okay, now take my delicate knife and go ahead and do the same exact thing. By the way, just so you know, that knife is 11 years old and has never been sharpened. How good does that feel? I know, you can't even stop cutting the potato, right? So essentially the way that this works is with the holes, it doesn't stick to the starches, and this has a micro version of the edge, making it nearly twice as sharp as the next best CUTCO knife. So you can see why knives like these make it the upgrade such an easy decision. Essentially here, anything soft, sticky, and starchy. Tomatoes, potatoes, cheese, it's a great bar knife, things like lemons and limes and so on. You're going to love using that guy every day. Do you guys grill or barbecue sometimes? You do? Excellent. So what that knife just did to the potato is exactly what this guy does to the raw meat. Fat off the meat, meat off the bone, thin slices of anything. So taking the fat for the chicken breast, cut the big breast in half, slicing or cubing cooked meat, beef, pork, chicken for like stir fries or fajitas. You're going to love that guy. And the way that that knife used on the potato is exactly how this guy works on heavy duty foods. So just go ahead and feel how awesome this feels right now. Boom. Cool. This is the Hardy Slicer. This is basically the badass protector of the set. Not everyone is comfortable with a giant 2-pound cleaver, and so what our customers did is they wanted a knife that could actually go through cooked meat, frozen meat, bones. I mean, heck, even my vegetarians love this knife because they finally have a knife heavy duty enough to go through squash, sweet potatoes, anything that's really rooty. A lot of times we actually at home section the frozen berries that come in the bags from Costco for like smoothies and stuff. Really, anytime you get into a pinch, this knife is amazing. And with the CUTCO edge on there, it allows you to actually have smooth, controlled cuts versus like a lot of hacking and chopping with butcher knives or cleaver knives. So again, just makes it so easy for you, and that comes in partnership with the a Bowie knife there. Just to finish up here real quick, you also get the chopping knife, which is one of my wife's favorites. It's a little bit bigger, so initially kind of intimidating, but once you know how to use it, which is simply pinching both sides, it allows you to chop, 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 scoop, move, makes it really easy for things like bigger things like bell peppers, onions, things like broccoli, cauliflower, even like hard to cut stuff like garlic, cilantro, and parsley. It just makes the job easier in the kitchen, so much easier. Your upgrade also comes with a utility piece, and then 2, 4, 6, 7, and then the last piece that we offer is the scissors. And what's cool is that your block will actually have a spot for the scissors. Do you remember the scissors in your original demo? Yeah, here. Boom. Scissor to cut penny demo. Make them fall in love with them. Excellent. So you can see now why, even though you have some CUTCO, why it's such an easy decision to do the upgrade, because all of these pieces are going to be used nearly every day and at least every single week. Plus, they make your time in the kitchen so much more efficient by having the right tool for the right job, and really complementing the things that you like to do the most. Now, like I said, with that, it also comes with 4 extra table knives, and then the block of your color, which, judging by your cabinets, I mean, it's up to you. Here's what the cherry looks like, and here's what the honey oak looks like. Based off your cabinets, you know, which color do you think would probably look better in your kitchen? Okay, cool. Now, it's going to be weird for like a week or two, because I take the block from you. Just bring out a dry towel, a dish towel, put down your favorite pieces, or just make a little CUTCO knife pyramid. Just be careful, and then it's going to be like Christmas. Your new CUTCO is going to show up. It's going to be so pretty, brand new. Like, you're going to have to invest in like a bunch more Band-Aids because you're going to be cutting yourself all over again. It's going to be awesome. And then everything's going to have its own spot in the block for you. And then imagine how great it's going to be, like knowing that you're done with your knives forever. It's going to be awesome. So I've got a couple notes here to take, and while I do that, I've got my blue book here. So I mentioned some of those other kind of package options I would do, and I've got a couple questions to ask you while I just let you peruse through this. And let's see, let me grab out my notes here. All right. So, does anyone in the family hunt or fish at all? No? Anyone garden or prune? Okay. Also, a lot of customers have been taking advantage of Christmas right now, Christmas shopping. I mean, sometimes Christmas shopping can be really fun. A lot of times it can be stressful and overwhelming. And what better gift than a gift that someone's going to use every day and have forever? Who do you have that's still on your shopping list that you haven't taken care of yet? Or another question would be, who on your shopping list tends to be really difficult to buy for? Something like that. Getting those information. What I'm doing right now, comments here. I know I said I wasn't going to do this, but I'm asking a bunch of these questions, and I'm kind of feeling out the situation. I really want the customer to get engaged in something, and I'm going to use that something from hunting, fishing, gardening, pruning, whatever the case might be, as leverage to help close on the complete package. So that's what's going on here. By the way, the notes I'm writing down is the discounted sale price on the upgrade, and I'm not really taking notes, by the way. I'm just literally writing down what I'm going to show them. And so I'm going to write down the price here, which you'll see in a moment. And I'm going to be quiet for a moment, letting them just finish up like perusing through the book while I ask the other questions. Who in the family bakes? Et cetera, et cetera. Cool. Let me go ahead and steal that blue book back from you here real quick. All right, excellent. So, all the knives are obviously right here in front of them. Shears, 4 table knives, etc. Cool. Like I said at the end, as a common courtesy, I always show everyone what the upgrade looks like. So this is the way that the package upgrade works. Instead of just trying to piece this out online or having to buy the whole new set just to get these pieces, CUTCO came out with an upgrade option that allows you to take advantage of a package deal, saving you a little bit more money than buying things individually over time. So the way that this works is that we take actually the price of what the complete set is right now. I don't know if you can see that. That's about $3,100, almost $3,200. And we give you credit for what you've already invested in. And that's actually about $1,500. Now, I know you didn't spend $1,500 on CUTCO, but that's the credit of the retail value of it today. So regardless of what you have, that's the credit we give you off of the upgrade package. So what that does is this actually already cuts the upgrade price in half. That takes it down to just $1,672. And I love that because I sell so many of these on all the time at that price. But I told you there's a couple cool things that we do for you in home versus like at an event or a show or online. Like I told you, I'm really committed to my goal, and I also give you credit for your block. So I know that that's already a really great price for everything that you'd be done with CUTCO for. What we just do is, after consider the taking out the value of your block and a little bit of an extra discount, that takes it down to just $14.47. And what makes this such a popular upgrade for most of my customers is if you're a paying full customer, then great. It's super easy. We just take care of it, and it'll be on about a week, week and a half. What most of my customers do is they take advantage of splitting it up over the couple months. And this is what I was referring to earlier when I was talking about just making sure your hubby is happy with it too. Essentially, for a super small car payment or a trip to the grocery store for the week or an easy trip to like Costco or Sam's Club, you're basically just doing that for a couple months, and then you're done with knives forever. So that comes down just to $2.89. So it only really comes down to a couple bucks a day, making it super simple and easy. And like I said, I've been so committed to my goal that just to show you how grateful I am for being able to help serve you today, if you like that, you would use that, and you could swing that budget-wise, what I would just like to go ahead and do to make this super awesome for you is I would like to just go ahead and, in addition to that, go ahead and throw in blank as a gift for you. And cool. So commentary section again. Essentially, that is how I will leave it. I will pause, power pause. This is where you're going to let them think. And a lot of times, they really love it. I mean, it really, when you phrase it all this way, when you build up the value, you know, each of the knives are thinking, I like it, I would use it, I like it, I would use it. Everything you're saying, I like it, I would use it. It makes it really easier at the end to say, them think, going into that, I like that, I would use that. Now it's, can I budget it? Is it good value? Is it worth it? One power phrase I forgot to say is, hey, even if there's a piece or two in here that you don't think that you would use as much, it's such a good deal as a package deal that you could either just give those as gifts or just let them sit in a set because you know it's a great package discount. Cool. Let's go ahead and say they want to do it, but that so let's say they want to do it, but unfortunately it just doesn't work out price-wise or something else happens. I say, hey, cool, no big deal. Like I said, I just show that as a common courtesy because it's good to know what else is out there with CUTCO, and you know, that doesn't mean we can't ever get to that collection or that set eventually. It just means that today might not be the right time. So real quick, I just am going to be looking for something real quick. If you could go ahead and take these 8 pieces that are out here in front of you, and if you could just go ahead and take out the 3 pieces that you're not going to use as much or that you could at least wait on. Excellent. Cool. So while you're doing that, what I'm doing is I'm looking for essentially the what used to be the 850 special, which is now the 973 special. I believe it's called the Builder Upgrade, which, by the way, you can find these sheets through Fast Action on a really great deal. You can get the digital copies, and then I just took them to the print shop and had them laminated and everything as well. And this builder package is pretty genius. It gives 5 tools, 2 table knives, complete block, and on a pretty good deal. And that takes it only down to $215 over the 5 months. So essentially, on the discount here, that's going to be over $400 off of what I just offered. So, whatever. They picked out their pieces. They've got 5 left there. I'm not going to ask permission for this. I'm just going to go right into it. I go, so here's the deal. You liked the idea of the upgrade, right? And you would have totally done it, except whatever objection. Cool. Well, like I said, we've got a couple different upgrade options available. I just show that one because it's my job, and that one's first. This is honestly what most people actually really prefer. This is called our Builder Upgrade. Now, what's really great about this is you essentially get everything that you wanted in the upgrade, except for and you got to take out a couple pieces you didn't care for. And it takes it down like a couple $100, like over $400. So what's really cool about this is that actually gets you the 5 tools that you really like, the ones that you know you're going to use almost every day, have forever. It gets you still the block that you could eventually finish filling out anyway, and it still comes with some of the table knives. And it actually comes down to just the 973, which is just the 215 over the 5. Now, if this doesn't work out, I have something a little bit smaller, but honestly, if this works, if you like these, if you use these, it comes with the garage, the ability to store all the knives. And if you can swing it budget-wise, it is a lot better budget-wise. And if you can swing that, then it just makes sense. And I know I was offering this with the complete upgrade, but just because of how committed I am to my goals, I would still be willing to go ahead and put that in there as a gift for you. Wait for the answer. That's a really nice soft close, and see what happens. And then the great thing is that these, can you see how the package progression just makes it really simple and easy? Ultimate Upgrade, the 973 Special, From there, I can easily just eliminate the block and the table knives and just do a full price 5-piece special, and maybe still be able to offer whatever it was that I was offering for free, or maybe a part of the collection that I was offering for free or something like that. And if I have to, my back pocket specials are like so complete ultimate upgrade, 973 upgrade, full price 5-piece special, discounted 5-piece special, and then 1 piece. Basically, that's the drop down progression. It makes it super simple and easy. You go from the ultimate upgrade, which is super easy to promote, makes a ton of sense. Eliminate 3 pieces, boom, you're automatically into the builder upgrade. From the builder upgrade, minus the block table knives, automatic 5-piece special, full price. From there, just swapping out some things or giving a big piece for free or whatever, discounting that. And at that point, they've already said no a couple times, and at that point, even over the 5 months, you're still under or at about $100. It makes it super simple and easy. And at that point, if you have to, one piece it or something like that, and you can always try and upserve back up. Cool. So let's just go ahead and say they chose the 973 package. High five. You're gonna love it. I'll make sure to go ahead and get everything set up for you. Let me go ahead and grab an order form. And let's just say I'm done filling out the order form. And this is where the end of the service call really comes into play. And this is where I like to say something along the lines of like, hey, I've got my notes here. Since I'm going to be taking care of you in the future, it's really important for me to be able to help save a lot of time and just be really efficient. So of the other package upgrades, I'll put the CUTCO kitchen in front of them. Cookware, flatware, accessories, business gifts, personal gifts, weddings, anniversaries, hunters package, wellness mats. Out of all of these things, what else is going to be on your wish list for the future that you're going to probably add on? And they'll say something, blah, blah, blah. And I go, cool, what else? Awesome, what else? And I'll keep pushing it just a little bit until I have a little bit of an extra wish list here. From there, I can simply say, hey, great, excellent. By the way, if you were to prioritize all of these things that are going to maybe be on your wish list in the future, what would probably be the next thing you would get? Let's just say they say flatware. Easy upgrade from right there. Awesome. So I have to tell you, and I have to do my job by letting you know that a lot of customers love adding them. They would get the whole kitchen all at one time if they could, because they know they're going to have it for longer, get more value out of it right away, and plus the package bundle deal makes it so great. And a lot of my customers who aren't doing the kitchen are taking advantage of the savings only bundle here today. What I'm saying is that it's at least worth me showing you what the flatware looks like, only because if you were to add it on to your order today, since you already are taking advantage of the upgrade option, it would be a fraction of the cost of what it would be if you were to just get it by itself later on. So, is it okay if I just show you what that looks like real quick? You don't have to say yes, but I think you really like what I have to show you, or really like what I have to say. And this just opens up for so much easy upserving and everything. For the future, by the way, even if they don't add on, upgrade, whatever, all of these seeds are planted for the future. And now they're trained and they're ready so that when you do interact with them on another service call, see them at a show, market for a sale going on for the year, or even have sales and service events like operating in your area, that they are ready to dive in to more of the CUTCO products. I hope you have a great experience with this training video. I hope that this adds tons of value to you guys. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and email me at cutcoluke@gmail.com. Have a wonderful day, and God bless.